Yeah, it's plenty low. Not only do I not mind you joining me, Dave, I would very much appreciate you running this show.
A very pleasant good morning and welcome to the 2019 His and Hers Bonspiel. Here live from the K&J Magnetics Warm Room in beautiful Warminster, Pennsylvania. And we're watching an A-event game here between Team DeJong from Plainfield and Team Bartsch from Plainfield.
Plainfield traveled all this way to play each other. I'm sure they've never played each other before, right?
Yeah, my money's on Plainfield. I'm Dave Schmel, and I'm joined here, as we are many times on morning draws, for what is always a great time by the man, the myth, the legend, the rumor, Wayne Anderson. Good morning, Wayne.
Good morning, Dave. Good morning, Vietnam.
I hope you don't have to go there.
Well, Sarah's close to Vietnam. She's over in China, just arriving there today.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Third time in 9 months.
What event's
made the
there?
trip over there. Mixed doubles invitational that China put out.
Playing with Corey?
Playing with Corey, yeah. So, good cash spiel over there. Hopefully they'll come back with a little bit of money.
At least, hopefully at least enough to cover the cost of going there.
Well, the nice thing is China really wants to build their program, and they pay for all expenses.
Whoa, that's awesome.
Yeah, I don't think they'd be making the trip gambling whether they were going to make money on it or not if they had to pay their way.
Well, that's a nice opportunity.
Yeah.
So here we are. We have Team Bartsch won the toss. So it will be Team DeJong throwing the red rocks, and throwing first. Their skip is John DeJong, who is out there in his customary shorts, my kind of man. The vice is Mark Mooney, who will be going to Senior Worlds. That's exciting.
Yeah.
Or Masters or something like that. Or
yeah, they call it Masters. I wasn't really familiar with it until I saw it.
Whatever
posted.
he's going, and that's cool. And the second is Don Arsenault,
who will also be going on that.
And they're importing a kid from Philadelphia for this one. The lead is Ken Seaver.
Yeah, if I had to pick a lead, I'd take Kenny on my team all the time. He puts the first one right in play there.
And that is what he is well known for. And they're playing against Team Bartsch. Skip is Jim Bartsch. The vice is John Gephardt. Second, Ray Piccolini. And the lead is Bill Grabowski. We'll be sure to keep you updated on the other sheets as we're going here. We're still carrying on. This is an A event draw that somehow occurs at 8:45 in the morning. God bless them.
Yeah.
On sheet A, we have Team Anderson, which Wayne cares nothing about.
Not at all. No. No, I was saying yesterday that that's the great thing about curling is so often it's a family sport that it gets passed down, the love of the game from one generation to the next. And I mean, in my family, it started with my grandfather and my dad and mom, and down to myself, and now my kids, and hopefully their kids, down the road. But I've always enjoyed curling with my brothers and my dad. We'd do it once a year faithfully while my dad was living.
So your brother's here, right?
Two of my brothers
Okay.
are here. Yep, and each brought one of their sons, who they both curled competitively up in the Ontario and junior ranks as they were playing up there.
That's fantastic.
And who are they? Oh, yes, we're defending champions.
They're playing against the defending champions, Matt Pringsrink. I'm the alternate on that team.
So you got a little sentiment in that match as well?
Yeah,
wanting
yeah.
to stay in the first event.
Yeah, we won it last year, so that's Matt Pring, and Zach Gary is filling my lead as vice. It's Mike Lessner throwing second, and Captain Draw Kevin Brady throwing lead over there. And our A event game on sheet C is between the ladies of Potomac, skipped by Courtney Shaw, against the ladies of Bucks with Michelle Sheffer.
Okay.
And over on sheet D, we have Emily Anderson versus Laura Halsey, so another Philadelphia grudge match.
Yeah, they're all familiar with each other.
So it looks like we're set up with a Bluestone undercover, the Bluestone belonging to Team Bartsch. Don Arsenault trying to outdraw it or ticket, or it's going to, unfortunately, that's going to be a draw to the hack.
Well, I thought the ice was great yesterday, and a little bit of frost, but I think it's even going to get better today with the humidity dropping out there. Beautiful day outside.
Yeah, it may appear a little bit frosty, but we are fresh off a scrape, and we pebbled immediately before the draw, so the base may have some frost on it, but there is no frost on the actual playing surface.
All right.
It's one of those things, the picture can be a little bit deceiving.
Well, both teams happy to try and go around the middle here. Make it a rather, sometimes, I'm sure you've seen it many times. You sit here and watch them throw rocks, hit. First couple of ends can be sort of boring to watch.
Absolutely. It looks like you might have given a bit of an out here for DeJong. A little bit of backing to work too. So he's going to try to stick the drill to be shot. Indicate that it's okay to come down to the second shot stone, even though you want it to be shot yourself. You're going to cut down the scoring zone.
Well, the weight must be close because they were watching it for a while, and now they're going hard on it.
They got to go hard for line. It's going to be on the top one, tucking it even further underneath the cover, but it may be visible from the other side now.
Yes, I've got a better view on the line, Dave, than you have, and you can see half the blue rock that's in the 4 foot there if you wanted to go through that port. But the port's only about a rock and a half wide, so not a...
Yeah, but wrecking on it wouldn't be the worst thing, right?
Yeah. That's the key, is not to have zeros on your efforts, right? To get some value out of it.
And this one does cover up that port. So that's not a zero.
No. Don't think what they were asking for, but definitely added value for them.
This team, one of the favorites as we looked over the draw, with both the skip, vice, very accomplished. So Mark Mooney trying to stick that draw. If you ever make it, you're in great shape, but they are going hard on it. Looks to be a touch light.
Yeah, I think they're going to have to really pound that one. And coming to a stop, well short. Yeah, I remember another spiel, Dave, you and I were talking, we talked about taking a look at how things look after the seconds are finished, and of course we're into Vice's first rocks here, but definitely advantage blue here after halfway through this end. Have hammer and line a couple behind cover.
Absolutely. A guard thrown up here by John Gephardt. It posted some of the way in. There's still probably a draw path there, but John's had enough of the draw game at this point.
Yeah.
He was patient.
And he's saying, yeah, let's open it up, but we might also actually run this sucker back at the same time, sort of take it as a bonus if we get it.
Some marks away, a good normal weight. That's really close. Going to over curl and run onto the back one, which is not a bad outcome.
No. Yeah, one less potential counter. Well, they were making fun of my brother that he, in Bonspiels, is very poor at winning flips, and I noticed they've lost the flip the first game, and they do not have hammer here in the second game either. Might be time to pull in an alternate on the flipping
just
of
come
the
on,
coin.
Just come on in for the flip and say, okay, I'm done.
Yeah.
Good morning, Nancy. We'll make sure we monitor the chat, and I know Nancy will text us privately. Nice to know we have at least one viewer. Oh, we have 15.
Oh, my goodness. All these early risers.
Nothing like a Plainfield match early in the morning, says Robin. And Jeannie Moylan says, well, it's actually John. That's John Moylan, sorry. John says, I got a fever, and the only prescription is more Pring. I will try to oblige you all day.
We'd almost think Mr. Pring was here in the booth with us. Maybe he's mic'd. Maybe that's where that voice came from.
Well, I am. I'm skating back. I'm getting ready to take my last shot, my first shot here on sheet A. And Zach's holding the broom. And, I mean, damn it, if he misses the line call, I am going to be pissed off.
Okay, there you have it, folks. That's what you pay for, that kind of entertainment.
Well, we can't have nice things. For the record, Matt did make his shot there.
Yes, he did. Yes, unfortunately, I mean, on my nephew's first shot, he was trying to play a soft hit and ended up actually tapping one of Matt's rocks into the house. So Matt is now line 3 over there with just
with hammer.
Yeah, with hammer and just one rock left. So it could be a ugly score over there unless something good happens on this shot.
So first skip stone here for Jim. What do you like?
And he has hammer here, right?
Yep.
Well, he's line 1. I don't mind just coming around again. I mean, I think I'd come around again, just to go top 4.
I believe this is Jim's first time in Bucks, at least in the warm room era.
Mm-hmm. You've run across him in Bonspiels before?
I've actually never run across him, so that's odd to me.
Yes, the amount of Bonspiel than you do. It looks like he's going for the hit and roll, which is obviously the second alternative. It's just I felt that the shot rock is very nicely buried. This one, You know, you hit it, you're going to...
This is leaving an opportunity here.
Yeah, you've sort of made it before. They couldn't really hit and outcount the shot, rock. Now...
You probably could.
It's going to be close. Going to be a lot closer than if he hadn't thrown that rock. Of course, you try and do my shot where you come around and you leave it half open, and all of a sudden they may double you out. So,
right.
I mean, it gets down to how well you make the shot. I mean,
right, 6 of one, half a dozen the other. Ultimately, you just have to make it something.
Yeah.
And that was a exasperated groan by Mr. Pring. It is a score 2 on sheet A for the Pring rink.
Yeah.
He made a hit and rolled out.
So that's an acceptable result for the Anderson rink. We talked about that last year on teams should have a plan going into the end, what they want, and have a goal. And Matt's goal would have been to score 2, and he did it. So goal accomplished there. Okay, Mr. DeJong coming down here, final rock. At this point, probably wanting to make sure he doesn't give up an unacceptable outcome of 3.
Yeah, this one needs to curl some. Here it comes now. I'd probably get off of it, but
yeah,
it's going to hit and stick and lie second shot. So we're going to have a little hit or whatever, or heavy draw for 2.
So he's happy at 2. He's avoided an unacceptable outcome of 3 here by removing that rock. And worst case scenario is giving up 2, which is an acceptable outcome when you don't have hammer.
So Jim's skating his way back down and wearing those socks high.
A little bit of a Scottish look maybe for him there. I don't know.
Old-time baseball look. Get those big sanitary socks all the way up.
Hey, what's happened to the Phillies, by the way? I see you got your Philly shirt on here.
They suck.
I mean...
The Phillies suck. Gabe Kapler sucks.
How do you really feel about it, though?
The manager needs to be fired yesterday. He's no accountability over the players. You got players not hustling.
I don't know.
It doesn't cost. It doesn't. You don't need any ability to hustle.
I was not following I was traveling and wasn't following the scores that much. I don't know whether we're going to come back enough here to. It's curling pretty well. Just depends how far it rolls.
And it will stick for a score 2.
He does. Good eye. Yeah. All right. Good shot. Yeah, so he accomplished his goal.
Back to why Gabe Kapler should be fired. You have a guy who doesn't hustle, says, "It's okay, I feel terrible, it's never going to happen again." And he goes, hits this little, not even a pop-up, not even a fly ball, a little flare in the left field that's just out of the reach of the left fielder, because they're playing one of those shifts. Don't even get me started on analytics. Mm-hmm. And he's only on first base, and just about gets there, not even on second. Yeah. And he says it's unacceptable. I talked to him. No, you bench the guy. You put in a pinch runner, you take him off the field and set him on the pine.
Yeah, saying it wasn't following that closely, and but I knew the Phillies were in first place, and then all of a sudden I look at the standings.
They decidedly are not. No.
Oh yeah, I look at it and I say Atlanta's in first place, and not just by a game. You know, I say what the heck? And I saw that 2-8, and Atlanta was 8-2 in the last 10 games.
In the last 10 games, absolutely. Aaron Nola pitched a gem last night. Gave up just 2 runs over a good number of innings. The Phillies managed 9 hits, yet only 1 run.
That's moving the runners around. Yeah. Oh well, we're back here. We're watching curling. We'll let our
we'll get back to baseball. We'll get back to the baseball commentary later. So Kenny Sievert. A little light on this one.
Yeah, the line was good. Just they're going to have to really go hard to get that thing into the rings.
Yeah, you know, here's an example of using your opponent's stone as a guard, because it's off the center line, so you can use it as a corner guard for yourself.
Yeah. We've talked about this before. I sort of prefer coming around the outside of that rock as this one. I'd rather that red rock be half buried on the outside rather than on the inside right there, because you got hammer and just less chance of that happening. They come up light and all of a sudden now you're even another rock in the 4-foot blocking that path.
And Mac Mead from home is the Phillies have lost 15 out of 20.
Not a stat you want to be broadcasting. Well, the meet us at the what's that, Bartsch?
Bartsch, yeah, that's the
Bartsch. Oh,
yeah.
I see, at the Bartsch. A little play on the name there.
Yeah,
meet us at the Bartsch.
Yeah, you see what he's doing there.
Oh, yeah. Well, he's sort of got his lead rocks where he wants them, both inside the 4-foot. The middle getting pretty ugly here with only lead rocks in play.
Second one from Kenny, and the line looks really good. It's all about the weight right now.
Yeah, I think they like it.
Kenny put one right there on the pot. Not bad at all.
All right. Yeah, I like this call. Come down and sit on that baby, and we've got a pretty small house right off the get-go.
You just like it because he uses a brownie just like you do.
Yeah, just old school.
I do see you give in and actually use a modern broom from
time
to time.
I do. I just don't want to have too much of an advantage over you, Dave, when I play you.
Fair enough.
This one, they were brushing that a little bit. I don't think it needed it.
Yeah, it needs to finish.
Yeah, maybe that's what they were doing. Maybe they were trying to get it to curl.
Calling Don for hack weight here. That sheet's been running a little straight in that area, so I don't mind that ice, but you're going to have to be paying attention to it. On it hard for line right now. Ken Sievert and Mark Mooney, and I don't think they're going to be able to save this one.
It's moving.
Oh!
Just slid by.
So I was trying to rationalize my questioning the ice call by saying it runs straight there, but
you just knew it. Yeah. All right, another attempt to come around and freeze onto this red rock. They do have the opportunity to rub off their blue one now.
Looks like it has all the weight it needs for sure. Okay, a little tap there.
Yeah.
Same type of opportunities available for John DeJong here.
Yeah, rather, if I was John, I'd be pretty happy right now looking at that.
Over on sheet C, it was Bucks County scoring a single point in the first 10 against Courtney Shaw. And Philadelphia scored 2 on sheet D. We'll let you know what team later.
You can't keep them in suspense. Overcompensated on that. Went the other side.
Overcompensated, went and bought a Ferrari.
And no, Team Anderson down 2-0 over there to Ms. Hollisey.
Yep.
Over on sheet A, they're banking some time over there, playing a pretty clean second in. Nothing in the house with skip rocks to come, just a couple of rocks, well, just slightly outside of the rings.
I mean, yeah, with your brothers there and Mr. Pring and Zach, none of them are known for slow play, I would think.
No, I think they know what they want to do. Oh, the Pring fans are rolling in here, fast and furious. Julia showing up here.
Always lights up the room when Julia comes in.
Yeah, yeah. My brother Don is, so it's equal now. We got one fan for each team there. I guess maybe you and I both, 2 fans for each team here. Add in the commentators. All right, so finally did get that blue rock out in front of that red one here on our featured game.
Now, I think you were trying to throw a double here to stick for 2. John likes it. Oh, that's
maybe not.
That's a bad outcome. I think John smiled a little bit, thinking he got himself a little too cute there.
Yeah.
That's a I had to win a Bonspiel kind of shot.
Yeah, so they're gonna try and block things up here.
Oh yeah. Jim Bartsch is quite happy with this being the outcome of the end right now. Punt.
Mm-hmm.
Ray and Patty are happy with the weight. That's right, it's not Bill Grabowski, it's Patty Coburn playing lead.
Okay.
I look at the sheet and then I look on the ice, and that's quite clearly Patty.
Yeah.
Patty Coburn walking back on the right as we're looking at it.
Well, we still have a couple of red rocks second and third here, so if something can happen to get rid of shot rock.
Yeah, it looks like the John called first to
it's a little wide out here, though.
Yeah, but oh, that's unfortunate.
Yeah, so that's 2 unfortunates in a row for Team DeJong. My brother somehow managed to get 2 rocks in the house on 1 shot over there. So they're line 2 with Matt with 1 rock to come.
Bill's lead, Patty is second. Thank you, Ray.
So interesting. Matt's taking a little bit of time. We talked about they do play quickly, but this is giving him thought. Does he try to do a double, or does he's got 2 rocks frozen, one right in front of the other. Does he raise his own? He looked at that for a while. He's going with, I think it's a smart play early in the game. Avoid the unacceptable outcome and try for the double. Only gets 1, so be it, but not going to give up 3. Pretty good looking shot coming down here. Weight wise, a little, maybe he's going to over curl.
Yeah, it's going to over curl. So there's a port available there to play off their own red if they like.
Yeah.
John's lining it up.
Yeah, it's definitely there.
I don't see a lot of downside.
He's looking at the run back. but I would be.
I'd be playing off my own.
Definitely. I mean, you saw how much that last one curled. Just throw the hack weight and.
You don't have to rattle it around too much.
No, just you only have to move it a foot and you're line 3.
Right, and if leaving it there is actually, at least another catcher, so it's going to make it tougher for there to be a shot coming back at you.
My brothers came through. A little worried there for a bit, but they got their deuce back to tie it up over in sheet A.
Tied up 2-2 after 1.
Well, that's good. But nice to see close games.
Well, all these teams on the ice did win their first game.
Yeah.
So we have about 2 feet of ice being taken here. Indicate to me that we're looking at maybe a hackish, boardish kind of weight.
Which I think we all agree is what you'll be looking for here. Don't even think you have to throw that much, but that's no more than that's good.
It's on the broom. Looks to be a touch heavier than called for.
Yeah,
here it comes. Line's getting better. Needs to get past that top guard. You have to get past. You just wick.
Oh, so close. Actually, the weight was not
it
too
wasn't
much.
that bad. Yeah,
no.
That was just so
just
close.
Wick, tick, tick, and come up a little short. And unfortunately, now those rocks are staggered.
Oh, the angles suck now.
Yeah.
I think the only play to remove the shot stone right now would be to play off the blue rocks in the 8-foot.
They were. I was looking at the very same thing. Wouldn't that be a nice shot? I think.
That'd be very aggressive.
How much can't see past John here? How much you can see that past that long guard? Can you throw enough weight and get by that guard?
I think so. That guard's 15 feet off the house. And just looking at it that way on the telecast.
Yeah, I would be actually leaving this shot alone and taking away the one that you're talking about.
Yeah, because the angles right down the middle aren't really beneficial for DeJong.
I don't see how they're down the middle. No matter where you hit them, you can't get that red rock in.
And I've done this before by throwing this guard. I'm going to force my opponent to see it.
Exactly. What have we?
There's a good chance your opponent doesn't see this shot.
Yeah.
Because we're sitting here staring at it. We got nothing else to do than have our coffee and cocktail.
Yeah. Although I think I saw John peeking over at that shot. He's not going to take long.
John's pretty crafty.
Yeah.
And they're eyeing it up. You got 2 talented skips. One happens to be throwing vice. He's going to be throwing some weight at this.
Well, I'm happy to report that Team Anderson on the women's side also came back to take 2 and tie it up on their sheet.
So we got a tied game there.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Still waiting for sheet C to finish up here.
Yeah. And it looks like blue is going to score, so.
And it looks like they're going to score 1, 2, and 3. So Courtney Shaw's rink of Lauren, and Honorary Laura. That was an easy game.
Not confusing there at all.
No, it was an easy game to call yesterday. I just said Laura sweeping.
Laura shooting. Laura calling it.
So it's coming on down. We're going to sneak past the first guard. Will it curl up enough?
Oh,
Will it curl up enough?
Oh, yes.
Oh, that's a fine curling shot.
Oh, my goodness. Is it 2 or it's definitely 2, maybe 3.
Well thrown by John DeJong. I believe. I'm going to say it's 2.
I'm going to say it's 3.
We'll see what they hang, but that's cowbell worthy.
Yeah, I think that's where, unfortunately, Jim got a little bit focused on where they've been throwing all those rocks all the time, and
you get tunnel vision, you forget about the other side of the sheet.
Didn't sort of look at what's the real easiest shot. That was you just had to hit that rock, and that was
it was
happen.
A loaded gun.
Oh well, for us that's good because now we got another either tied or one-point game.
We got another good game.
Yeah.
So Ken Sievert is going to drop a guard. As you mentioned before, we're usually pretty confident in Kenny's abilities to do this.
Yeah.
His wife Teresa is not always as confident.
But she cheers faithfully, no matter how Kenny's playing out there.
And we appreciate Teresa doing some volunteering here this morning, helping us out with breakfast, even not her home club. So that's greatly appreciated.
That's Teresa.
And Ken did successfully drop the guard. So this is Stewart. Stu sitting in the warm room as the alternate, or?
No, we have my second, Don's middle brother.
Okay.
He's sitting in the warm room with us here today.
Okay.
He's been away from curling for a couple of years with a little bit of a knee problem, but tried sliding out yesterday with the regular delivery, and that wasn't going to work, obviously, after the first end. So he tried the stick, which for...
I saw him. Oh, that's right. Was he running on the slider with the sticks?
Yes.
That looked awkward at best.
Well, you know, I looked at it too, sort of scary. You know, I was going to fall out there, but he said that he actually watched it. Someone else who was a long-time stick deliverer, and they said they liked it because the sweepers liked it because you were coming out more at the pace like a slide, and so the sweepers had a better feel for exactly what the speed of the rock was.
Oh.
You're not adding as much as a push when
Sure.
you let it go. But hey, whatever works, right?
If it works, it's good. We got 18 viewers, so we're record audience for the Bonspiel so well.
And we're competing against a beautiful weekend out there to boot, you know.
All right, so Bill has the promote made. Gonna move it up to be shot rock and move the opposition rock into the open.
Yeah, that definitely improved their position, even though they're wide open here. Getting that red rock up DeJong's out of there was very nice. Don has a nice straight delivery there. Going right at the broom. It's all over the shot rock.
Trying to roll underneath. And look at the slivered under there, but it's still pretty well wide open.
Yep. Pretty much all available. A little bit more of a hitting end here compared to the first couple that we watched.
Yeah, I think
it's all right.
Ever felt as a skip like you just feel like you need an end where you're relaxing a little bit?
Yeah. Yeah, that last end, really, the house got small very quickly, and sometimes that can hurt the team with the hammer from scoring multiple points.
Oh, yeah, it was small even before second rocks.
And, things until that last shot, it was looking like a steal all along. But and you were right, by the way. I don't know whether we told the folks this, that your prediction of 2 as opposed to my 3 came true. So it's a tied ball game.
So we're trading hits right now. this one is, they got to go hard here.
Yeah, it's.
They're going to catch a piece and probably, okay, they fall underneath their own. So now we'll see what Jim wants to do, whether he wants to try to reset and build an end or drive us in the direction of a blank.
I like the hit at this point. You can still hit and roll if you want.
Yep, calling Patty to throw a firm weight.
It's pretty. That's control at best.
pretty non-firm. But you got a couple of good brushers there.
Nice thing about this weight is that shooter is definitely going to be staying in the house. Got a
little roll.
Nice throw.
Yep, absolutely. I know we've discussed this before at other bonspiels, but throwing a weight that leaves the shooter around is very preferable.
Yeah. I mean, it just makes the other team have to make a shot. You know, you hit and roll out there, and all of a sudden they've got a free draw around a guard. Sure, they can hit this and maybe get behind the guard, but a lot more difficult than just giving them an open draw. So you're making it tough for the other team every time you keep a rock and play, applying a little more pressure.
Nice throw here by Mark.
Again, a nice weight again.
And that's going to just hang on to the side of the house.
So this is a little more debatable of what you want to do here. You do have that corner guard over on the other side. Yeah, I like this. Take one shot at it. If you still might have a possible blank depending how things go, but
I think I'd probably throw the other turn, just knowing the sheet a little bit. We're going a little bit wider than most of the rocks have been, so you're going to be a little bit more iffy on your weight control here.
He's following my theory of not ending up in the middle of the of the sheet. So
yeah, I did see them adjusting their headsets.
This is not going to be on the outside of this rock, though.
And it's going to end up in the middle of the sheet.
Oops.
So there you have it, Wayne. And John says, thank you very much. I'll quite kindly draw underneath.
Yeah. Best laid plans.
Over on your sheet A, we got a lot of stuff behind the tee line. 1 stone for the Anderson rink.
And this final rock for the Anderson skip, Craig. Pring has hammer.
Oh, that's not what Mark wanted to do.
No, not at all.
He just now
he had the opportunity to draw around his own rock there too, but tried to come around the blues, and so there's a downside of that.
That's true. But I guess it was 2 guards as opposed to just 1.
Yeah. Of course, you come around the opponent's rock, and you only go in the house by 3 feet. They've got a short run back, and they're of their own color versus coming around your rock, and they've got to run back the opponent's.
So it looks like we're calling a little promote here.
Yeah. I think the weight looks pretty good if it gets by the guard.
It's still going to make the house, though.
Isn't that sneaky?
Oh, that's quite sneaky. Hammerstone on sheet A. Matt Pring drawing for 1 against 3.
The sweepers are going hard.
They're on it hard for line right now. Got to get past that center guard. Got to get past the center guard.
Oh,
they whipped off of it. And
that's a huge swing in the game.
That's still 3 for the Anderson rank.
I think it's 3.
Yeah.
I'm glad your eyes. I was looking at 2, but I'm not even going with putting any money on what I think the bets are anymore.
Yeah,
against you.
yeah.
I'm just accepting.
Matt was none too happy with that. Unfortunate wreck in the center guard. So, back to our feature game. Johnny's going to try to sneak one undercover here. There is possible to roll for shot.
I think he's just hitting on this one, Dave.
Well, yeah, I think he's going to try to get an inside roll.
Oh, I see. Inside roll. Okay, sorry.
He wants a hit first and foremost, but.
Well, I don't think it's the inside roll. He better be starting to think about rolling the other way.
And they do call for that, and they will. Lie shot rock.
Yeah.
Exposed.
Shot rock.
With this amount of ice.
This is definitely control weight,
yeah,
isn't it?
Oh, for sure. I like throwing the inside out here.
Yeah. Although they've got 6 inches of air on the out turn as well, so I could live with either one, but really, whatever the thrower is most comfortable with is I'd go on this one.
They're on it right away.
Right away. And I think it's, I don't think it needs to be swept really hard, though.
I'm agreeing with the vice here. Ooh, just sneaks by. Does it have enough steam? Oh,
boy.
Good brushing by John there in the house.
Well, will John be doing another raise of his own to get things out here?
Absolutely. And then that will leave him sitting 2, forcing a draw 2. Admittedly, most of the house, but still a draw against 2.
Yeah. Well, Laura Hallisey over on sheet D is facing the same thing Matt Pring was, looking at 3 opposition rocks there when it comes to her hammer shot, but it's fairly open to hit something there. But again, sort of a game turner how well she does in this one shot.
Absolutely, and it was a score of 3 for Craig Anderson.
I never doubted you. Sweepers aren't doing anything on Laura's shot. Oh, she flashed. That's going to hurt.
Oh, this one might not clear the house. It might not go. Mark is sweeping to try to get it to go, and just enough. But the problem is
second
shot, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, there's the one in the front. That's close. I do think it's blue from where we're looking, but the camera angle's not perfect.
We'll probably be able to tell based on this shot. If he calls the hit, he's lying second. If he calls the draw, he's not. He's looking at the hit. Yeah, they're definitely second shot.
This is a hit to 2.
Hit for 2. So indeed, it is a score of 3 over on sheet D for the women's Anderson team. Up 5-2 after 3 ends of play.
It's a good morning for you thus far.
Yes, if I could have a coffee. I tell you, you get real service being broadcasters here. That serving coffee, to bring it right here.
So a hit to the wings here. Always a bit of a challenging shot.
I like the line.
They're on it. It's going to start to catch here.
It's not overly heavy.
Oh, they got to go hard.
Oh, just a little light. Oh. Well, actually, the weight was nice, but it just.
So it's a score of 1.
Yeah. So still, they'll have Hammer down 1, so it's still anybody's game here on sheet B.
Oh. A steal 1 for John DeJong.
Right.
Yeah. That's makes it 3-2. All right, so and over on sheet C, Michelle Sheffer gets 1, making it 3-2.
Yeah.
And so you guys are all caught up right now.
So John going full offense here, wants something short, and I think Kenny's going to give it to him. Well, these rocks, they do glide here at
Yeah,
Bartsch.
they certainly do, and that's going to glide all the way to a 5.
Yeah, it'll be interesting what Jim does with that. It's just in the 8 foot. He's got the opportunity to put a corner up without feeling too threatened yet, or come around.
Oh, okay. That's his handle call, not his weight call. That little high wave. I thought he was calling for an up weight before.
Oh. This is a little unusual of a call.
You would prefer a corner guard here.
I'd put a corner guard up. I mean, you make this shot perfectly. You don't want to go behind the tee line, and so if you make it perfectly and get buried, you're what, just 2 feet short of the opponent's rock. I mean, they're just going to run it back. You don't bury it.
So we have a great program for this Bonspiel that was made by Tim Wood.
Well,
and on the back, you might have had to sell some of these things to get fancy, like guns and stuff.
Oh, wow.
If you sell just 7 boxes, you get the Daisy Western carbine.
All right. Wow, I didn't look at this. This is good.
Olympic Sales Club, those silly boxes that we all try to sell as a kid. Thank you, Cassie.
Well, my brothers are just commenting how nice this spiel is coming down here. The hospitality shown by the club here. You know, you come in, all the food you can eat for the spiel, all you can drink, whether it's soda or wine or beer included in it, and just the friendliness of folks that they say they're eager to come back in future years and understand why any Canadian team that comes down to this spiel would come back. And
we have several different Canadian teams that have frequented our Bonspiels that are repeat customers. You know, once word gets around, now the exchange rate's a little tough on them right now, but so that can be a bit of an issue. It's an issue for at least one of my friends who wants to come here from Calgary, but between the flight from Calgary and the entry on top of that and lodging, that's a tough nut right now.
Maybe the Bonspiel committee is going to have to think about accepting it at par that they're coming down here from Canada.
I'll take that up with our treasurer.
Matt Pring going for a freeze on some back rocks here. It's pretty close, but I think they'll still be able to bust it out of there. Down to skip rocks now with Mr. Pring line 1, 3/4 frozen to a rock in the very back of the house. I think if you hit it hard, though, it'll go.
And a good split there by Don Arsenault to spread out his team's rocks. They were trying to get a little bit more of a straight promote, but splitting them up does put them in a good spot. So it's going to be a good amount of work to do for Jim Bartsch to get a deuce here.
Lots of rocks to come, though, and he's got one in the house, so who knows? A little wide on the release on this one.
They need this stone of patties to curl, and it is going to split the uprights. Calling for the tap again. I like this.
Yep.
It'll leave you line 3 and line 3 in a better situation.
Yeah, again, I mentioned earlier Don's slide. There's another slide that's looked to be going right up the stick. And surprise, surprise, you throw up the stick and you
get the intended result.
You know, that's why I always take my hat off to folks who come out and practice their game. You know, and I know Don throws practice rocks. You just get your fundamentals down. But if you just play games so much, you're focused on I need to make the shot rather than how you're throwing the rocks and getting your fundamentals right. And if people would go out and get some instruction, have one aspect of their delivery that they want to work on and improve and practice it for a while, all of a sudden they're just going to find the game's a lot more fun because you're making a lot more shots. There's a nice shot. Look at that. Hit and roll, corner frozen on it behind a guard.
Ring the cowbell.
Yes.
So now John's going to have to draw down to that. Maybe open it up, but I think he prefers a draw.
Yes, I think that last shot brought some smiles to Jim's face, and I know the Vice all smiles coming down, happy with it too.
Now John Gephardt always has a positive attitude to him. It's just the kind of guy he is. Good teammate to have, because he's never going to let you get too high or too low.
That is always a good thing for any team member to keep in mind. Listening, had my brothers listen to this video. We put it up on the TV, a YouTube video, a TED Talk. I think I've talked about this before, the happiness advantage. It's only a 12-minute tape. This guy talks a mile a minute, gets so many words into it. But just talking about, does happiness lead to success, or do you need to be successful to be happy? And of course his theory is happiness leads to success, and I'm a big believer in that. You don't need a downer on a team. You want to be successful, you guys, you know, you got to be upbeat, you got to be positive, got to have fun.
If you're not having fun, you should not be doing this.
Yeah, go sit on the beach, you know.
That one a little bit narrow. Almost looks like it backed up. John said same idea, wants to draw in there.
Yeah.
You could probably get to it with the other turn too, but you're more likely to get a favorable angle on the rock this way.
Going a little early for line.
It looks like it's going to be all. Oh, it's going to be close. It is going to wreck on their own here. Still just the one for Jim Bartsch. Coming up to the hammer on sheet A. Matt Pring is facing 2. Calling a hit and stick for 1.
Yeah, this is where you want to be throwing that weight. They make sure your shooter sticks around.
Ice appears to be a little bit tight for that. They're already on it.
He's not throwing a lot of weight. Oh, he's by the shot rock. Gives up a steal to 1.
Steal 1.
So a score of 6-2. Anderson up over the defending champions, and our lead announcer here, Dave's team, he's talking about happiness advantage. I don't see some smiles on his face at all right now over there.
Yeah, and that's something that can be a thing, and team psychology is very much a thing. And
yeah, because even if Matt had just scored on there, it's just a 2-point ball game halfway through. All of a sudden you give up that steal.
And now it's 4. It's a big swing.
Yeah.
And I presume that you're going to see a transition to a little bit more of a hit-based defense here.
Yeah, Craig was calling rocks into the house last end, even with the 3-point lead, and definitely doing it now with the 4-point lead going in, and that's pretty standard, right? You got a lead, you go into the rings, you're down, you're out front. Got hammer, you go to the wings. Don't have hammer, you go to the center. Just, watching these teams that are all here in the A event, and that's pretty much what you see across most of the sheets.
So John DeJong is trying to make something happen here and fire a slash double here. Now, I don't know if it goes really, but we're going to try it.
It can be done, but he has to be a little fortunate in hitting it exactly right.
Line looks really good. They like it. Well, you release the rock at least. Didn't make anything leave, though.
No, I think we know what Jim's going to be doing on this one.
Yeah, he talked about practicing the form and everything, and I suffered a little bit of a knee injury, and I was able to get back into curling, but really have to kind of focus on my delivery a lot more to make sure I don't hurt myself while doing it. And it really does. I find myself coming out on the broom a little bit more. Now I've lost weight control.
I was just chatting with my brother about knee problems. As I said, he was suffering with that, and he was talking with someone up there in Canada about it, and they were saying that just focusing a little more on trying to keep that heel down is good. It just tightens, holds everything in place a little bit better, and not going up on the toe. And it's as much as you say keep the heel down, it'll never be completely down probably, but by thinking of it, it just firms things up, and I think puts a little less tension on the knee and makes life a little easier. But it is a bummer having something like that. I've gone through that, not so much with my knee, but with my hip and stuff. And when you're sitting there in the hack, knowing that when you're coming out, you're going to feel some pain, it's hard to keep that totally out of your mind.
And for me, it's actually my hack leg, which is a little bit more interesting. So I'm trying to find a way to push out nice and clean.
Well, Jim threw a nice rock, but unfortunately for him, a couple of feet deeper than he wanted that sucker. And
I think John's just going to throw a double here and almost concede the two. And
yeah, if he hits it right on the nose and makes the double, it won't be that easy for Jim to necessarily even get his two. He's going to have to hit somewhat a little bit off nose. So, yeah.
That's a great call.
Line's good, sweeping on and off for line call. He's got to be awfully close.
We got to hurry right now. There it is, nicely thrown.
Very nice shot.
Good line call by Mark Mooney.
So now, can we hit that out and stay and not jam on the back is the question here. It can be done, but you're going to have to throw, just board weight.
Well thrown stone by John DeJong.
Yeah, again, a smart call. Again, avoiding that unacceptable outcome.
Yep.
Worst case is 2 here. He's got a 1-point lead. He can
give 2.
He can give 2. And it's not an easy shot for 2. That rock is 3/4 in front of the one in the back. It's not a gimme that 2 is going to be going up on the scoreboard.
Over on sheet C, not a little roll off from Michelle Sheffer, so Courtney Shaw is going to have a draw for 4.
So the theory of give 1, take 3, give 1, take 4, that's a pretty good winning formula to go with if you have that as your game plan.
Yeah.
Well, they're off on the sweepers here too.
This is going to be on the back one.
But scores the 1.
Scores the 1, yeah. So we have a tie ball game after 3 ends.
All right. A good game to have on our featured sheet. Nice tight one. Some good shot making.
Absolutely. And it is Emily Anderson's with a steal in the 4th end to move up to a 6-2 lead. That's making my partner's coffee taste better.
It certainly does.
And it is a score of 4 for Courtney Shaw with Laura, and honorary Laura.
Yeah, we had Dan come down and say that there must be something in the water. The Andersons have the exact same score on sheet A and D, 6-2 leads on both sheets.
And scoring in the exact same sequence.
That is true, isn't it? The exact same sequence. Amazing.
They just weren't on point as to what color to have.
Right.
So the first stone comes on in, and John wants Ken to get rid of it. I think he's looking to maybe flip the hammer into the even ends here.
I think so. I don't know. Yep, you can go that way, but
I think he has a team that can make the shots to make that happen.
Certainly does have that. That's true. Well, Jim's not going to have any part of this blanking of ends theory here.
Well, that's one of those key parts of the Fez race theory, ability.
Play to your team's strengths. That's right. Make the shot you want.
And especially we see amongst younger skips that they get later on in the ends because we're moving from the middle towards the end, the last ends now. Mm-hmm. And people will shift their strategy away from their team's strengths because the scoreboard says that this is the right strategy.
Yeah.
And then you end up missing shots and yada yada yada. You're in a bad spot.
And I got so frustrated watching teams on the prevent defense on football. They have the.
It prevents you from winning.
How many times do you see that turn ugly?
I say you dance with the girl that brought you. It doesn't matter how ugly she is. Because I'm not a looker either.
Well, look at that draw.
Yeah, so after the wreck, now John says, okay, why not? If I can get 2 here, I don't mind that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have to blank.
No.
To which Jim is now changing gears, saying, you know what, a blank sounds pretty good.
Yeah. Well, you know, we talked on other broadcasts about the soft deuce, and John's maybe sort of falling into this now. He's not making it to, like guards and all the rest of it, but hey, you get a couple of rocks in the house, maybe it's an easy way to get a deuce and go for it without taking the risk of giving up a steal.
Sweeping hard here to try to make the double. There's one going. Both stones moving.
Rolling.
Is Johnny going to be able to get it out? No, it is just holding on. It's a back biter, Marv Albert.
And Jim still has that center guard, but no, John says not for long, you're not. Now, this will be interesting. He's wanting to hit it. There he goes. Don, I think, was sort of saying, you sure you want to come that way?
Yeah, Mark's got a little smile on his face.
Yeah, that jam was looking...
It was looking strawberry.
Yeah.
This is the intended outcome.
Yeah. There you go.
So what do you do with this rock?
At this point,
you got a pretty innocuous stun. He's going to call in for a guard.
well, I think I like that better than going into the rings. You still got half your rocks to come here. You're 1, 2. Yeah, we're still second, still throwing. So.
So we talk about evaluating after second stuns. Is this plus anybody or is it just neutral?
Well, we're not quite there yet. We've still got one more second rock to come after this one, and we'll take a peek at it. But I would say probably, well, we'll wait until we get there, see what it is, because it sort of depends what Don does on this shot as to where the advantage is going to be.
That's a nicely thrown 3-guard.
It really is.
Because the ice has not finished, that can be effective.
Mm-hmm.
Seems to be running about the same speed as yesterday. I haven't clocked anything yet, but...
No, I didn't bring my stopwatch with me either. But yesterday was fast, right?
Yeah, we were in the 15s.
Yeah.
Low 15s, but 15s nonetheless. That's anytime you touch that, 15 is a good number.
And of course, for those who don't overly familiar, Dave's talking about the hog-to-hog times there, which
is the most accurate measurement.
Yeah, it's the most accurate. You don't have to be wondering about this. Oh, Don, this is why it turns out you had to wait for that shot to see who has the advantage. And I sort of put this at neutral, you know. At this point in time, I don't think there's an advantage really for either team. Whereas if Don had buried that one, you'd have to have given DeJong's rink an advantage after the seconds. But the key on that miss, I mean, I'm a little surprised actually after that last shot where he hit and rolled out that this one is really close to the rings. They could have played a hit and rolled and might have even rolled on, or at least have a tight corner guard on the rock behind there, and still have your blank in play.
Now this one's a little bit light. They're going to try to raise the guard instead. Going to make contact and just push it on the rings.
Mm-hmm. Not for shot rock though.
No, so it is not shot.
I suspect John may do
just ignore it.
Yeah, just call the shot he did last time. But now, you know, Jim's got 2 rocks on the center line staggered. So who's going to get behind those staggered guards first is going to be the key on this end.
Yeah, and John's trying to make sure here.
Yeah, I think the team is wondering whether they want to hit those rocks out front or not. But, you know, line one, make the shot. Any strategy is pretty good.
Yeah, just make it. John says it needs to curl, and it does need to curl. The weight appears to be there. Weight's there all day. So they are sitting two well back in the house. Jim's going to go to the other turn here.
Yeah, and if he gets this thing half buried, I mean, it's going to be jamming all day long on the back stub. You got 2 rocks to angle it into, so I don't have a problem with coming this way at it.
That needs to bend.
But you can't be heavy.
Ooh.
Would have been a nice line, just that much heavy.
John's going to accept the education he got in that line. Matt Pring drawing for 2, and it will be just 1.
Matt just doesn't seem to be up to his usually high level of play here. Just missing that open hit in the 4th and giving up a point there, or at least an extra point. So that's 6-3. Anderson over Pring on sheet A. None of the other sheets have finished yet.
All day.
All right, so Team DeJong not taking advantage of that miss, and that's another thing we talk about too, right? The team miss, you make them pay for it,
sure,
and come back, and you don't want to follow up a miss with a miss. You
right.
Just team gives you that opening, pay it, and you come around there and put one top 4 behind those things. Whoa! All of a sudden, it's starting to pressure build.
We really need a booth camera for these little colloquies that we have.
All right, Jim, come on now. Let's bury this thing just the way you want, right at the top house. Not cheering for either team here. Just like to
see a good shot, man.
See a good shot. Execute it, yeah. Because I actually do like him coming around this direction.
Works better with the way they're staggered.
And with the higher probability of a jam. You get half buried on the in turn. There's no rocks on the right.
This appears to be both heavy and wide. It's turning now, though.
It's still got to come down.
Still looks heavy.
Yeah, it's got to come down.
It's going to come down. It's going to be half undercover.
That's nice. That's what we're talking about. He's half undercover, but it's going into John's own rocks, no matter what he does here, almost. Forcing John really just to draw.
Over on sheet C, we're coming into skip rocks. Michelle Sheffer is sitting 2 stones under half cover. So an opportunity for her to get back in the game this end.
I think Laura Hallisey is looking at one opponent's rock. She's the hammer shot to come, so it's that one rock is buried, so she's trying to draw for 1 over on sheet D. And if she makes it, the mirror or the identical scoring will continue. Both Anderson rings giving up a steal or not a steal, giving up 1 in the 5th end.
I guess we have to root for that just because that's cool.
Yeah. I mean, we'll have to take a picture of the scoreboards when it's done. I mean, how often does that happen? The exact same score
John's draw goes through the house, back to the scoreboard. And indeed, it will be a score of 1 for Laura Halsey. So we got mirror scoreboards.
Yeah. Just flip the colors. That's all it is.
So another one in here or a guard?
Oh, we're going in. Keep pressure, pressure, pressure. Plus, you just threw it, so you got a really good feel for this shot. Well, he's going on our theory that we do not want to wreck. He's definitely all out there. The weight, the sweepers aren't paying much attention to it, but it's looking good.
It's going to be a guard. They're just trying to make the good line right now. And that they will do.
I would so love him to have just buried that thing top 4 around those guards. I mean, that was no sweeping. Stopped 3 feet short. He might have been able to get it to the 8 foot if they pounded that.
Yeah, they might take it out some of the curl, but
yeah, but all it would have had to have done was get an inch buried, and there's no double. You know, you don't
just get an inch in there. I've laid off a lot of jokes so far. Realizing this is the PG draw.
Yeah, there you go. You're a good man, Dave. You can be flexible on your commentary style. I appreciate that.
Are you kidding me? This is just, lay up softballs for Wayne and let Wayne spout wisdom.
Well, Matt's got some guards out front. That one didn't quite go where he wanted.
Well, they should have swept that. They could have been buried.
Yeah.
Bit of an exasperated look on Mr. Pring's face. So Johnny's got touch 4 here. Wearing his trademark cargo shorts.
Yeah. The other problem with not going for that second rock on that last one is that, again, it gets back to pressure. John's only looking at 1. Not a big deal. Okay, gave up a steal of 1. I got hammer, and I'm only down 1 coming into the 6. Whereas giving up 2, all of a sudden, I really don't want to see that.
They got the line. They just have to get the weight there. Got to drag it onto the 4 foot. Got to get it to touch the 4, and they will. They'll stick around. A good draw.
That's very nice.
Well-managed shot. Score 1 for John DeJong from Plainfield Curling Club. They will be up 1 without hammer going into the 6th end.
Yeah, and although the score went to John's team there, really it was Jim's team that accomplished their goal, right?
Yep, they got their force.
They got their force of 1, and start at the beginning of the end. That's what they would have loved to have happened. Get that hammer back, only down 1 going into the even end here in 6.
And on sheet C, Michelle Sheffer made a draw for 3. And that puts that right back into a viable game. It is Courtney and a whole bunch of Lauras leading 7-5.
Yes, they need a steal. This is where you might want to go all out on your offense for
sure,
them
if you're down
point.
2 in the 6th end, go hell or high water for a steal.
Yeah.
Because if you give up a significant score, you're probably done anyway, so.
Yeah.
And the guard from Stephanie Johnson is not going to be a guard.
No.
It's going to be T-line.
Nice shot if you have a lead, but not when you're down.
So John gets his center guard from Ken, center guard Sievert.
I don't know if I've seen anyone throw a tick in the spiels that the spiel that we've been watching here so far.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen one called intentionally yet. Would this be a time for a tick?
I wouldn't mind it in that I'd like to score. I mean, I don't look at, in this case, I don't look at it as a defensive shot. It's sort of a defensive and offensive shot. I'd love to get 2 corner guards and remove the center line guard. Now we've got 2 center guards, which isn't what Jim's looking for. But if again it gets back to practice, teams that go out and practice that shot, it is not a hard shot. You just need to practice it. You just have to throw somewhere close to the weight that you want to throw, and let the sweepers get part of the rock. It's easier actually than a tick where you're trying to lose the shooter. You don't want any rock to play. You actually want to keep 2 rocks to play. You just have to hit half of a rock and enough weight to have them sort of roll outside the 4-foot.
Well, we got a nice draw to the pin here.
Yes, off to a very good start for John. That's a couple of nice rocks that Kenny has laid up there for him.
On this one hard, they're going to get past the guards now. Do they have enough weight to move it?
Might be coming out the other side. Not a whole lot. Pretty much straight buried behind it.
Heard John there. He said biting no deeper.
Line's good.
Looks to be a bit heavier than they really want it. It's coming down though. It's not a bad result. There is a double available if they want it.
Yeah. Yep, definitely. Most likely result is red's still going to be line 1, even if the top rock is hit, I think. But
oh, that's a lot of ice. Good thing that Patty threw a little bit narrow.
Still got a curl.
Just going to pick off the top one. Asking for another guard from Don. Providing there's not too much piddling around, this game should be able to make time. We're at 8 minutes and 45 seconds, about halfway through the end. So there's not a lot of time for dilly-dallying. Had to have all the rocks delivered in the 6th to be able to play 8. Now they're trying to attack this from the other side and to run their own rock up. This looks pretty good if they can get it past. They got to go. It's going to over curl. Huh.
So now we're at that point that we've talked about before. The seconds have finished the end, and for those who haven't heard Dave and I talk about this before, one of the things I like to do with my junior teams when I was coaching them, to give the front end some appreciation for how important their contribution to the scoring is we do a rating from -2 to +2 on who has the advantage. And I'd have to say that I put a +1 for a DeJong rink at this point in time. They don't have hammer, but they got one nicely buried, and they're throwing next.
And right now they're trying to remove the bluestone. I think ideally they'd lose their own.
Oh boy,
but this could suck.
This could be. Well, it worked.
It's
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a couple ways out now.
But yeah, if you're playing front end, that's something you might want to do. Just sort of do. Talk to your other partner on the front end there and say, hey, let's have an advantage when we're finished here, because usually that ends up being reflected on the scoreboard. And
then when you're sitting around the broom stacking table and Skip is telling, recalling all the glorious shots that they made, you can just know that you're the one who set them up.
Yeah, Matt continues to struggle over there. He ignored. He had an open hit if he wanted to on the single red rock that the Anderson rink had. He elected to draw, but came up light or crashed on the up front, I think. And so now it's a open draw for 2 coming here on the last shot.
And I would think that if this draw is made, that would be the conclusion of this game.
It would be definitely a strong advantage.
And that draw is there.
Looking pretty good. Yep. Going up 8-3 after 6 ends of play.
And play on.
All right, so Mark throwing a guard up here.
Laid it up.
Jim saying, what do I do here? He's going for the run back on the red rock.
Well, there's
a couple of reds to run it into.
Yeah, there's absolutely good things that can happen.
This is one where you do not want to be light.
And it is not light.
I like the fact that the sweepers are on this. Something's going to happen.
We're on one back and boom, boom, curling in the room.
There you go. All right. Improved the situation a bit, but still advantage DeJong.
Good to see smiles on the front end of the Pring rink.
Well, I don't know what happened over with my brother Stewart's first shot there, but it is 6 inches over the hog line, and they've got a lead. So I don't know what in the world happened there. I think he's going to have the peel of shame coming up here on his next shot.
Peel of shame. Peel of shame. And indeed, we are calling the peel of shame.
Well, Emily hitting and rolling out gives up a steal of 1. That spoils.
That spoils the perfect scoreboards.
Spoils the perfect scoreboards, yes.
But the peel of shame, it's on its way on sheet A. And executed.
There you go. I mean, that rock was so close to the hog line that Matt didn't have the ability to guard it, which is what you would normally do when a team comes up light of the house with a lead like that. You guard the peel of shame, from happening. But in that case, there was no room.
Well, he could have thrown the zero guard.
Yeah. Just tap it up a bit, yeah.
So it's Jim's first, and he's facing a single stone from DeJong.
Let's look at it peeling that thing off, and I like this. Yes, John can put the guard back there, but we got nice curl on this sheet. It's not always, might end up, right now it's a perfect guard blocking it. If John over curls half a rock, all of a sudden you might have an opportunity to get it out and lie three,
Sure.
So I like removing this rather than saying, well, let's try and tap our one rock to somehow to the piece of the button. That would be pretty tough.
Mike Lesnar throwing a guard after a relatively casual relationship with the hog line. This will indeed be a 7-end game because I don't see them getting 2 rocks off in 50 seconds.
Oh. That
So taking that into account, Wayne, what do you think now?
Oh boy. All right. So, and plus for those folks out there, we do not play an extra end, so that comes into play as well. It's a 1 rock shoot off if the game ends up being tied. So John can steal 1, he'd be up 2. That's a pretty nice position with just 1 end to go. Sort of guarantees worst case that he'd be in a shootout.
This one needs a curl. They might be able to work off their own rock here. I think Mark's trying to come up with a viable plan B here. Okay, you got a little bit out of it. Yeah, is there a port there? Oh, okay.
You know what? There is. There.
John Gephardt suggesting the slash double for 2.
Well, yeah.
And John is laying 2 right now, so.
The nice thing about this call is it makes, as long as you hit the red rock somewhere, you're only going to give up 1. So you have hammer to tie it up and go with your 1 rock playoff. So I like this. Trying to go through the port, all of a sudden you give up a steal to 2. Plus, if you make the shot, and you're only going to get 1 at most because of that rock on the right.
So it's on the way. The brushers are on it. Bill and Patty. It looks like it's going to over curl. Now, might get some lucky.
Or unlucky.
That's unfortunate. Will be a steal of 3 stones.
Wow. That totally changed the game here. Now all of a sudden it's a 4-point lead, 1 end to go, and I don't know whether they were watching the clock to realize that they.
Bonspiel chair Steve Johnson.
He's on the case out there. Yeah.
Yep.
It's sort of nice. The the guys were saying that I told them that the buzzer would go when time runs out, and they're saying, wow, you're right in your middle of delivery, and all of a sudden,
yeah, we usually remember to turn it off.
So no buzzer sounding there, but Steve is on the case, making sure that there's no dispute amongst the players as to what happens. And it's not that people would purposely try and cheat on that. It's just not watching. Just not watching. And
I often will, when I'm running the spiel, be standing out in the shed when the clock expires.
Yeah. A little shaky on that slide there, but the end result could still be good. Just looking for, this is where the free guard zone, you desperately need this rock to be out front somewhere, anywhere.
So a big score of 3 for Courtney Shaw to take a 10-5 lead after 6. And it's a steal of 1 for Laura Halsey to close the gap a touch. Down 6-4 against Emily Anderson. And an 8-3 lead for the male Anderson rank.
All's good so far in my books.
Yep, Anderson's and Chuck. He doesn't go by Chuck, does he?
No, goes by Charlie. Although I think before meeting Emily, his schoolmate friends had different typical nicknames for a Charles type name. But I've only known him as Charles. Yeah, he was saying that a little intimidating for, coming into the family. Emily and Charles are engaged to be married in September, and this is the first time not only, in fact, meeting some of his future in-laws, but also being responsible for playing on the team. A little intimidating.
And how long has Charles been curling?
He's finishing up a year here, I think. Yeah, I really fell in love with the game and has improved dramatically. He's coming along great. Loves the strategic aspect of it, sitting and chatting with Emily, watching games about strategy, what he'd call and stuff like that. So
I'm pretty sure you'd be happy sitting and chatting with Emily about watching the grass grow.
Probably right. Probably right.
Lovely couple. Congratulations to them.
We're happy that they've gotten together, yes. All right, and on our sheet here, going for a hit here. I might prefer something.
Yeah, I was expecting that type of exasperated sigh.
Draw around the guard. John's quite happy to exchange rocks here. Last and up 4.
Call for the normal weight takeout from Don Arsenault.
I was reviewing, my brother was talking about making notes when he hears some good strategy advice from other coaches or sees an event. And I said, yeah, I do that too now with my phone. I'm doing something. And I had the great opportunity to sit beside Nicholas Edin for a whole game this last year. And we got talking throughout the game about strategy and stuff like that. And He said one of the biggest things is just before you ever remove an opponent's rock is to make sure you're asking yourself, is it helping me or hurting me that it's there? And really, that was an example. Any rock at this point in time is helping Jim. And to remove it, even though it's an opponent's rock, he actually hurt himself doing that. You can freeze to it, you can tap it, you can go around it, you know, draw around.
They just paper. That's a lovely draw. Gonna peek out the other end just a touch.
Yeah,
show you how much finish we're getting.
I would have loved to him to have called that on the last shot.
Yep.
Don't worry that there's a red rock in there. Worry about that later.
And John just said, Mark hit something.
Yes.
I really don't care which one he hit.
Yeah, this is lots of times I will actually call the hit on the peel off the front one and put the broom for the peel. And then if it's out of the hand and if I really want to hit the back one, I'll just sweep it to go by. But in this case, I'd be just as happy hitting that front rock, maybe even more so hitting the front rock, peeling it off than the back one anyway.
We're going to get that. And roll to be a guard, so it's going to give
still
something to draw under, but it's still a good outcome.
Yeah.
So Jim Bartsch's team is in need of a few good shots and a couple misses. Trailing by 4 in the final end. Ooh. Looks like that one just slid through the house.
That hurts. We're starting to count rocks now. And how many are left here? And
John quite properly says, make this one go away.
All right, if it goes away, Jim's only going to have 3 rocks left to come, I think.
Yeah, and unless that one's a biter in the back, it is over.
I think it probably, my eyes are saying it's a biter, but I will defer totally to you based on our past history of success on.
Well, the fact that he's calling a draw down, I think it's on.
Yeah.
But it is that old thick ice, Jay. So Matt Pring is sitting with 1 in the house and trying to draw for, or split. What the heck is he doing?
He's promoting a rock here.
And he's got that. So 2 for the Pring rink. Makes it 8-5, so he's going to be down 3 without. And the
challenge. As long as my brother Stuart doesn't put up a center line guard here for them. I think he might have learned his lesson and make sure he's heavy on the next one. Laura Halsey, don't know what she's facing over there, but I think I see more blue rocks, the Anderson team's color, in the house right now. It's got 1 rock to come. Anderson with hammer.
Well, we can always send our sideline reporter, Christy Kirchner, over to take a look at it. All right. John's trying to hit something in the back. Nah, well, Not going to do it.
All right. We're still throwing rocks.
I'm not dead yet. Captain Draw Kevin Brady drops a 1 guard up.
Very nice. That's the.
You want to throw like a 1 and a 3 here, right?
That's the combo. And 1 is guard is sort of like trying to throw the piece of the button, get it on the center line and just over the hog. It's not an easy shot.
1 guard's one of the toughest shots in curling.
Yeah.
Partly because you have less room for your sweepers to actually interact with it.
Yeah. And Stewart making no mistake, just asked to throw it through. Unfortunately, that does not improve his shooting percentage. It does not count in the statistics when you throw a rock through the house. So here we go, Jim.
Now, you want to come with the other turn and maybe try to be like just a smidge underneath the redstone to kind of cover both of them?
I think the key is to get it in the house. I think coming with the turn you're suggesting, I think it's a little been played more. You probably know the weight a little bit, a bit better, and you would have a little bit of a Christmas tree effect coming that way.
I mean, John only has to hit something, so.
Yeah, the problem is he's going to. This rock, I think, is going to maybe promote the red rock in. So.
Well, they're holding it at the moment.
Oh!
And it did nudge it over a little bit.
I'll tell you what, John has to make a shot here.
John has to throw one.
Wouldn't that be exciting, having a tie down 4?
I think it depends who your audience is. Some folks wouldn't think it's too exciting. First of which is the ice crew.
I mean, this doesn't happen very often where a team's down 4 and the opponent has to
throw their last stone.
Has to throw their last stone to stop it from tying up.
All right. John jokingly said draw.
And I think if John makes this, I do not see any way of getting that other blue rock plus the shooter into the ring.
No, I don't see it either, so that will do it.
I think it's handshakes if this makes the blue rock disappear.
So here we go for the win. John DeJong, Plainfield Curling Club.
Trying to put another Plainfield club into the second event. And he is going to remove something. There it is.
And that will do it. So, congratulations to John DeJong, Mark Mooney, Don Arsenault, and Ken Sievert.
Moving on.
Moving on in the A event.
Yeah.
Just 2 wins away from winning the His and Hers Bonspiel.
You think we could stay on and chat, Dave, and let's people know what's going to happen on the other sheets here? We got maybe some folks at home there. I know I've got some folks up in Canada interested in what's happening over on the outside sheets here.
Okay, sure. We'll play radio here for a bit. 8th end over on sheet A between the male Anderson rink and the Pring team from Bucks County. It looks slightly less likely that I'm going to have to play on Sunday.
Oh, yes. There's lots of events.
There are events, that's for sure. So there are guards in play, which is what Team Pring needs. And asking Michael Glessner to throw another guard. So we have a parade of 1 guards just over the hog line and a 2 guard just to the right-hand side of the house. Looked like that was supposed to be a draw in, but going to ask Charles right now to hit some stuff.
Yeah, hit something blue and preferably roll out. And to review the scoring on that, the Andersons are up 3 with hammer in their game coming here in the final 8th end.
And on the other game involving an Anderson, they are up 3 without hammer.
Coming home. And what do we have happening on sheet C there for the folks.
On sheet C, we have a 5-point lead for Courtney Shaw's rank, and Michelle Sheffer is drawing for 1, facing 3. So this could be a deciding shot here if it's not made.
So Charles removed a couple of blue rocks, but did leave the shooter out there. Hey.
It's a new career, huh?
Yeah, enjoying it. We have Mr. GVDH just walking into the house here. Probably that's because Nancy's going to be cheering on.
It's over?
Yeah, well, Nancy's been talking to us on and off.
Yeah, she posted this even on her iPhone. Sorry.
So Roland, he's all smiles these days, a new grandfather, enjoying that role in life.
And there is a draw in for 1 there, so it's a good draw by Zach Gary.
Yep. And again, Anderson's not worried about the shot rock. It's get rid of that garbage out front. So the Pring's going to have to waste a rock guarding it.
So who's this throwing right now?
That's Stewart's son, and that is not what they wanted. They
just replaced guards
replaced it and did not open it up and did not get the run back on the rock in the house.
So the call for Zach right now is to nibble a 12-foot. The Pring rink has 1 touching the button, and there are a bevy of guards up front, a good enough port to get into.
So there was a concession on sheet C there, even though they scored the 1. Looking at the scoreboard, I guess you were saying it was down 4.
They were down 4 after scoring 1. So yeah.
So Courtney Shaw moves on in the A event, and team.
And this draw is nicely made.
Yeah.
So it's 2 under cover. They can see a touch of the 1 on the button.
And this is one of those calls again. They're saying you peel the guard, it's okay. You come by, you get the 1 in the house, it's all right too.
There's no lack of weight here. And they're going to get the 1 off the button and spill the shooter. So there is 1 blue Bucks County stone sitting relatively well guarded. Even though they're long guards, there's a good amount of real estate there.
So the best Matt can do at this point in time, if he can get both of his remaining 2 rocks to score, is to tie it and put it to
to a
shootout.
Yeah, to the shootout, which.
And over on sheet D, Emily's keeping things fairly open here so far. Nothing. Laura has 2 corner guards, so she's. That's what she's working on with Hammer over there.
Trying to draw underneath 1 of them with Lisa Crowling shot.
Looks like it's on the guard. Or no, it's actually went around it. Really curled there.
Very cornery.
Emily.
Pring gets around the guard here. It's gonna. Well, if you do this right, you're gonna roll it. Well,
I think it's pretty open.
Should be able to see that. Two blue stones in the house, but the opportunity to end this affair. Although I think Matt will probably attempt a split.
Yes, and it is doable. You know, chip the inside of it.
Yeah,
and,
the shot's there.
Mm-hmm.
Never one you would want to have to make.
This is my brother Don's son, Craig, throwing this one last rocks. He's got a temperament good for throwing last rocks. Again, very calm, doesn't get upset, and doesn't get overly excited when he's up. Doesn't get down when he's down.
So Craig stones away. It looks like it might be on the top guard, and it is.
So Matt's got an opportunity here.
Yeah. So where do you put it?
Well, he can't.
I like what Zach's thinking right now. Zach would prefer to be. Okay, now I'll let you talk, Wayne.
Yeah, I mean, he can't. There's going to be an open shot no matter what he does. What I would try and do is make sure that I don't make a wider target of 2 rocks together than currently exist. That's about it, all I would say on this one.
Yeah, we have 2 Bucks County stones, basically splitting the 4-foot circle on the tee line. One of them is half guarded by a 2-ish guard. The other one is fairly wide open, save a sliver of cover from a high 1 guard. So trying to make Craig Anderson throw his final stone.
Yes, it has to be in the rings, or otherwise it is handshakes. Laura Hallisey is running low on rocks over there. Right now, Emily is lying 2. Nothing guarding them, but Laura only has 3 rocks to come, and she is down 3.
So, yeah, that's tough math.
So here's Matt's rock coming in, and
it looks like it's going to come down to his own. Maybe a little bit short. Not a bad result at all.
No, that's good. He did what I talked about. He did not make the target any wider. The 1 rock, it's pretty much right in front of the other one, so he did not make the target any wider to hit at, and I think probably Stewart's going to ignore those 2 rocks and throw the same rock through last time. Now Craig just has to make sure that he gets a piece of this rock.
Final stone coming on sheet A. Craig Anderson delivers it, tracking nicely down the center line. Got to get a little bit of a sweep to keep it clean.
I think Stewart liked it.
I think we're in good shape.
The broom goes up, rock goes out. So Matt takes 2, but that's win or lose.
Leaves them 1 short. So make the final 8-7 for Team Anderson, and they will be moving on in the A event, the his. And it is handshakes and a victory for Emily Anderson on sheet D. So it's a pretty good morning for you, Wayne.
It's a very good morning. That's very good. And as usual, Dave, thank you. I enjoy chatting with you. You make it pretty easy here in the booth.
Absolutely. So for Wayne Anderson, our engineer, Jimmy Fannin. Dave Schmel will catch you in a couple minutes.
All right. Good curling, folks.